Our last example of multiplication in fractions is 5/6 of 5. Now, strictly speaking, 5 is not a fraction unless we write it in fraction form as 5/1. So then we can go ahead and perform the fraction multiplication. 5 times 5 is 25, 6 times 1 is 6. That's an improper fraction. Change it to a mixed number and it becomes 4 1/6. Now we're going to have a look at fraction division. And before we can begin our division, we need to learn about reciprocals. Reciprocals are when we take a fraction and invert it. Turn the numerator into the denominator, so the 4 here in the denominator becomes the numerator, and the 3 in the numerator becomes the denominator. So you just flip it over. So another example, so for instance if we had say 2, let's get the pencil working again, 2/7, its reciprocal would be 7/2. If we have a mixed number, then you need to change the mixed number to an improper fraction first. So 4.5 becomes 9/2. Its reciprocal is 2/9. If we have whole numbers such as 5, remember in fraction form, 5 can be written as 5/1. So the reciprocal of 5 is, flipping it over, 1/5. Reciprocals are very important in division, as you will soon see. Division in fractions is the inverse process to multiplication. The rules to divide fractions are to change any mixed numbers into improper fractions, invert the fraction after the division sign, that is, invert the divisor, change the division to a multiplication and multiply as before. So our first example is, how many halves are there in 7? Well, if you think about it, you know there are 14 halves in 7. And the way we write it is to say, as they've done here, and I'll do it over here anyway, is 7 divided by a half. It says how many halves are there in 7. And our rules say that we need to turn the division into a multiplication, and we need to multiply by the reciprocal. And then perform, and remember that 7 can be written as a fraction as 7/1, and multiplying through, our answer is 14. In this fraction division, we have 6/7 divided by 2/5. So we write down the original question, and the next line of working is that the division sign is turned into a multiplication sign, and we multiply by the reciprocal of 2/5, which is 5/2. So we've turned the division into a multiplication by the reciprocal of the divisor. Once we've done that, we can then perform the multiplications. 6 times 5 is 30, 7 times 2 is 14. Our answer is 30/14. and you can see there is a common factor of 2 for both 30 and 14, so we ended up with 15 over 7. 15 over 7, changing it to a mixed number, is 2 1/7. I'm going to leave the next example for you to work through on your own.